Welcome back to the Tool World Podcast. I'm your host, David Jew, and I'm here with Master Jew.
Hello, Mr. Jew.
Hello. All right, this week I got a question for you.
Another question.
Yeah, another
Yes,
question.
Another question. Yes.
And we're talking about the reverse hooking kick. Kind of like in Moon Moo.
All right.
Or let's say Juche Kodan. Okay,
Yeah.
so.
Is what I can
And
all say.
I think you have to look at both patterns too, just because they're a little bit different, right? So let's start with Moon Moo. I think that one's a little bit easier because
Why?
you don't have a technique before. You're just going from the stance into the kick, whereas Juche Kodang, you kick and you're already doing side piercing kick, right? So it's a little bit different. Right?
You're
So
doing two kicks.
You're doing two
side
kicks, right? And you
piercing
spin
kick and
around.
you spin around.
Right, so let's start with Moon Moo. You're in a sitting stance, right? And I'm doing a reverse hooking kick in a slow motion. As I bring that leg up, sometimes you see where the leg is straight for the kick. And it comes around and then it hooks at the end. That makes it the hooking kick, right?
Right. Do you also see it where people bring the leg up
And
the
it's
knees
bent, slightly bent, right?
Right.
So it's slightly bent coming up and then hooking around, right? And so what would you say is the correct way to do it?
Okay, so the reverse hook kick is a variation of the reverse turning kick. So on the reverse turning kick, the leg is straight when it hits its target.
Right.
Reverse hook kick is the target is slightly different. Maybe it's the back of the head,
Yeah.
right? So there's different reasons why you do certain things. I have to just kind of go back to that basic, right? Reverse turning kick, leg, you just bring that leg up, you spin around, leg is straight and it hits its target, maybe the
Yeah.
solar plex, head, whatever.
Yeah.
Where the hook kick is more of a snap type of a movement, specifically maybe hitting the back of the head.
Okay.
And so the knee actually would come up, bent, spin around, because you're reverse. Reverse is like spinning. We don't have spin kick.
Right.
We have reverse kick, right?
Right.
Reverse. So when we say reverse, it's what we're saying is we're spinning around. And so the knee comes up and it would actually extend and then hook it. So I would say that in the case that the knee should be slightly bent as you bring it up and then you hook the kick.
So the knee's slightly bent, even in the pattern.
Yeah, it's not as pretty though.
Yes, it is not as pretty, right? But you're going to
And
say
so-
that's the technical is to have the knee slightly bent.
But the hook kick is the way I would probably perform it, is that the hook kick, that's the part that's important. That means that it's got to hook around and got to hit the target, right?
Right.
And so if I'm going to do it slow, I bring it up, and my knee might be slightly bent, or it could be straight, but I'm going to demonstrate this hooking motion.
You mean the snap back?
That snap,
Okay.
I might actually bend it, straighten it out, and hook it.
Right. Okay.
And that's also true with Kodang, Juche.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm doing a side piercing, yeah, boom, I'm locked out, and I can't just like go straight across and not hook it because the technique says hook, kick, right?
Yeah. All right. So let's go to Juche Kodang. So you do the side piercing kick. That leg is straight. Boom. It's out.
Right.
Then as I start turning, do I bend that knee slightly as it comes around for that hook kick? Again, it's not as pretty. So there's a high chance that people in competition would not do that because they want to make it look really nice, right?
There's a lot of body control.
Yeah.
Right.
But what is
straight?
You're gonna
and the
say
pattern is straight.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't say in the encyclopedia that the knee is locked out. So we have to go back to the way it was taught, right? How was I taught? How did General Che teach it? And you watch videos and you see it straight, and you see that in Momo as well. Right?
Oh, okay.
And so it doesn't say that you bend the knee. However, you are rotating around. And again, same thing. I'm doing a middle side piercing kick. I'm rotating the leg is straight, but I've got to demonstrate this hook kick. And the hook kick, I think, is the knee slightly bent, straightens out, and hooks, because you got to have this flicking type movement to the back of the head. So I can't hook somewhere where my leg's straight out and I just bend the knee back. I mean, I guess I could, and I do see it that way.
Well, if the leg was already slightly bent coming up,
Then I
and
could
then
straighten it out
straighten
and
it
then
out and then
flick
pull
it back.
Yeah.
And then you can have that speed.
Right.
That's kind of the way I do it. And that's kind of, and I just kind of look at, you do patterns for work on fundamental skills, but it's also got to be reasonable, meaning would I be able to hurt somebody with that? You know, if I just had my leg up and I just flick it back, are you going to cry? Maybe.
Maybe.
Or if I had brought my leg up and I, you know, flick it back, I straighten that knee out and I flicked it back and it
Right.
hit something, could you create some damage? For me, it's always
Yeah.
about how can I create some kind of damage.
Okay.
How do you do moo-moo?
Well, maybe like leg straight.
Yeah, but
Leg
it looks
straight,
good,
and it looks nice, yeah.
right? And then
Or-
how do you do the hook kick?
And then-
You don't just flick it back. Remember,
Well-
slow motion techniques is not a constant slow. It should always, it's slower, but it's accelerating from 0 to, let's say, 50 miles an hour versus 0 to 120 miles an hour.
Right.
And you still have to have that 1-inch deep depth technique. It's not just like lifting that leg up. It still has to have the application of the technique, except performed in a slow motion.
So then would you say when you do the hooking kick in slow motion that sometimes you see it's like slow even through the kick?
It should not be a constant speed.
You're a little faster through the but I'm saying, you know, sometimes you see like some people go fast or then some people go slow, right?
Well, I guess what we're talking about is judging, right? For competition, maybe.
Right.
Which one's right or wrong? I don't know if it's necessary either it's right or wrong. For me, I want to see like some speed on that kick. The transition from the beginning to the end is slow, but it still has to have that. If I was doing slow motion, like palm pressing block, then in slow motion, I still do that the very last second, the little twisting, the little jerking, body sets in, both feet flat on the ground, and I exhale at that moment. I wouldn't just go down.
A little bit of a stylistic kind of thing.
Yeah, stylistics. You ever heard of that group?
No.
Anyway.
Anyways, let us know you guys' thoughts on leg straight or leg slightly bent when we're doing the hooking kick in patterns. As always, don't forget to be safe.
Keep training.
I'll see you guys next time.
Taekwondo.